Good morning. So yesterday I was talking about 1 Timothy 4 verse 8 that says, training the body has some value, but being godly has value in every way. It promises help for the life you are now living and the life to come. So this morning I wanted to briefly talk about what is godliness. What is being godly? Godliness and righteousness are pretty similar things. They both mean living by God's design. So then that begs the question, what is God's design for us to live by? God's design, he first laid it out in Exodus 20 with the 10 Commandments. And then the New Testament comes along with Jesus, and he expands that further with the Sermon on the Mount, which is in Matthew 5, 6, and 7. And he really teaches us how to love God and how to love people. So that's what God's design is. It's loving God and it's loving people. You could see that in Mark chapter 12, verses 28 through 33, that we are to love God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and we're to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. We're supposed to love God and love people. But then, okay, well, how do you do those two things practically? How do you love God and how do you love people? So to love someone, you have to know them, right? You have to know God in order to love him. How do you know God? Well, there's a couple things. You have to find out who he is. So you have to read his word, which is the Bible. That's how you get to know God, by finding out who he is and then by talking to him. So praying. And when I pray, I give thanks to God. I thank him for who he is, and I thank him for specific gifts in my life every day. James 1:17 says, every good and perfect gift is from God. So that's how you get to know God. You read the Bible, you pray, you give thanks. And then as you get to know who God is, then you really learn how to love people. We've all heard the golden rule to treat others the way we want to be treated. And that actually came from the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. That's where the golden rule came from. So you also can't love people very well if you're not in community with people. So you have to actually be around people. While the social media is, that's good. We can connect with people that way. You really need to be face to face, shoulder to shoulder with people in real life. So I'm going to encourage you that if you don't have a local church, to find a local church. Find a church where they love God, they teach the Bible, where they love people, where they are working to make disciples of Jesus Christ. If you don't have a church, find a church. If you're in a church and you've never served in your church, try to get involved. Find a place where you can serve in your church and you'll get to know people and you'll have opportunities to love people. If you've never joined a small group or a life group or a Bible study, I would encourage you to do that this year. Give that a try. So I would say this year, try to love God and love people, and that is godliness. So again, physical training is of some value, but godliness has value in this life and the life to come. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.